Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and I really do appreciate your spending some time with us. Today, we are going to be taking some old spindles and some sticks from the backyard, actually my neighbor's backyard, and a little bit of fabric and turning them into a super cute little Christmas decor item. So stick around. For this project, I need a sewing machine. Now, I am good at straight lines. I can't do anything fancier than that. So this project is perfect for that. So the first thing that I have done is I have taken old drop cloth fabric, and you can see this is definitely old because it's got paint from my painting furniture all over it, but I think it could look cool. So all that I did was I cut out two sides, so double-sided, so I can sew them together, of different sizes of long triangles. So in essence, Christmas tree shapes. So some that were fatter, some that were shorter, some that were thinner. There is no perfect look to this. It's whatever you're after. I'm thinking for display, you'd want varying heights. So maybe you're doing 3, 5. Obviously an odd number looks better. But you're gonna want them of varying heights, varying sizes, some fatter, some thinner. I mean, whatever works for you. Whatever you would like, because it's your craft. And all that I'm gonna do is I'm going to sew up one side to the point and down the other side to the point. I'm leaving the bottom open because we're gonna stuff. Now I'm also sewing them with the right sides out. I want that seam because our next step is to go toss them in the washing machine and then in the dryer. So what we're hoping is that the fabric frays, and I want that fray to show. So I'm not going to be turning them inside out, so the seam stays on the outside. But that seam, we want to sew it, cut it and sew it before we wash it, so that that fraying happens on the edges of our tree. You with me? So right sides out, sew the V, leave the bottom open so that we can stuff it later, and then take all your trees, toss them in the washing machine and then in the dryer, so hopefully we get some fraying action happening. All there is to it. Now, you saw me cutting up some bed spindles, and these are awesome things to come across. One, because usually those old beds are no longer meeting some of the legal requirements for children's beds now. The slats are too close or the spindles are too close, that sort of thing. So a lot of times people aren't able to sell them off very readily or easily, and often are giving them away, in which case grab it and break it down. And then you're able to cut the spindles down for different projects. So, you know, this section is likely to become part of a pedestal. It could be a tree trunk. I mean, whatever it's going to be. For our trunks, I'm going to use this. Now, I don't necessarily have to paint all the top of this because it's going to be stuffed up inside our trees, but I am going to have more or less of the trunk showing depending upon what the height of the tree is. And I may end up having to cut off some of the top if I want it a little bit shorter. But I want to have a fair bit of the length sticking up inside of the stuffing just to give it more support so that it's not flopping over, which wouldn't look all that good. So what I do want to do is I want to get the majority of this painted, and I'm just going to paint them white. I'm using beadboard from DIY, so it's a clay-based paint available on the website, Queen Bee Creations Home, or whoever your local distributor is if I'm too far away, although I do ship. But I'm just going to get this painted white, and I will likely distress it. Now I have some bases coming, so we'll see how quickly they arrive for me to carry on, but I can get the pieces done that I can get done before they make it here. But I'm going to get this painted out, and the first coat is going to be a little bit streaky. The second coat is the one that goes on nice and full and even, so that's where you're going to get your better. So I'm just going to kind of lean that up over there and move on to the next one. Now you could also, if spindles aren't available, you don't happen to have that, there's no bed for you to take apart, you can just pick up some wooden dowels. You could also you know, raid maybe some of the dead branches and sticks that have fallen in your yard. You know, I have taken some already and cut them down as little trunks for pumpkins maybe. You could just leave a longer branch and use a natural piece of wood branch for your stem. That works too. So don't ever think that you have to you know, not do a project because, oh my gosh, you know, I can't find spindles. I just happened to have spindles and thought, okay, this is going to be a great use of them. But, you know, taking wood and cutting it down, taking a branch and cutting it down, you can just use a hand saw. You don't need to have a chop saw to do that. So again, don't create reasons not to engage in a project. Just look for an alternative. You know, I'm giving you an idea of how I did it. It's not the only way to do it. And it wouldn't be the only way for me either. If I didn't have spindles that I just happened to get, it was the first time that I've even gotten an old crib and had the opportunity to break it down. So I have a bit of a stash right now, but if I didn't have that, I would be using some dowels or I'd be using some sticks. So I would be doing exactly what I'm saying you could also do. All right, for the next step for our Christmas trees, we have our spindles all painted out. And what I do have are these wood slices that I purchased from Amazon. So I will drop the link down. It's my affiliate link. I earn a couple of pennies, cost you the same. But these are actually really nice ones. They come with a bit of bark. They've got nice, clean, sanded lines. So I've got some in the past that were a little less stellar, but these ones are good quality. So what I have done was I took my Gorilla construction adhesive because it's pretty fast drying and it's got a good bond to it. And I just simply put some glue on the end of the spindle and put the spindle into roughly the center of each of the discs. So I have some of these ones, and then just to show you, because you may not have spindles, right? So again, you could use dowels or you could just use sticks from your backyard. So I've got a big one because I think I have a couple of big trees, we'll see, and I've got a smaller one. And again, you can see a little variety in these slices, so which works nicely because I needed a bigger one for this, I needed a smaller one for this. And what I am going to do is turn them, I'm going to do this one first, turn them upside down, and I am going to try to see where the center is, and I am going to put a nail through it. So you could hammer a nail through it. I'm going to use the pneumatic gun, but it just secures it a little bit better. you don't need to see me hammering to be able to do it. So I'm gonna do that, and then we can move on to our next step. Joining me today is my granddaughter, Ellie. Ellie, you wanna say hi to everybody?
Hi.
But what we do have is we've gotten our Christmas tree shapes out of the dryer. Yeah, so it's kind of the Christmas tree shape, but because of the dryer, we've got all these beautiful fuzzy edges, which I love. Now these are obviously the drop cloth that I had painted on, and I really love the look of them and how they turn out. I deliberately sewed them with one side that was a little plainer and one side that was much more painted. So I'm probably gonna leave the painted side alone, but especially on these beige ones, what I am going to do is take some of my IOD stamps and I'm going to put a little bit of a pattern on one side. So I'm gonna take some of my IOD stamps, and you could use anything for this. I'm gonna use an assortment of them. I think that I'm just gonna put this one across the bottom as a bit of a trim. But any that you have, any of the stamps that you have, any of the designs, you might wanna do Christmas designs. I'm gonna take my stamp pad and I'm just gonna load it up a little bit more with some of the ink.
And she done stuff a lot of times before.
And we're gonna take the stamp pad and just tap it over the top
so she can
of our stamp.
So it like designs the one on the bottom.
And then take this and press it down onto your fabric. Now, what you want to be careful of is not to move it so that you get a nice impression. But you are going to want to kind of move your fingers along and push it down into the fabric so it has more of a chance to kind of soak down in.
She's right.
But look at that, so cute. So you could do that design all the way up, which would be super cute. And now I'm tempted to do that.
And now she can pick other designs.
But I have a little angel here with wings, and so I think I'm just going to keep this one a little bit simple.
It's got stuck to the stamp. So you might want to be careful not to stamp yourself.
There you go.
But if you stamped yourself, you can always wash it off if it's waterproof. If it's water, if it can wash off in water.
You could wash it off. All right, and there's the cute little angel. So Ellie's decided this is way more fun than she thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm gonna make my very first tree.
Okay, so I'm gonna stamp this for you, and you don't need it all the way along.
Yes.
Right?
Because my triangle is like this big.
But I left you a clean spot on the edge for your fingers, and then this is clean for your fingers too. Okay? And you're gonna take it. Yes. Oh, hold on to this side too, so it's not so floppy. So see how it's nice and straight then? And you can put it down.
I'm very careful. I'm pressing it down on my Christmas tree.
You were listening to me. Good job. See?
And I listen to my grandma so I can learn more stuff about these trees. So when I grow up, I can do these trees too.
Okay, you think you're good? Mm-hmm. You ready? You sure?
Mm-hmm. Whoa!
Oh, pretty lovely. That's okay. That's why I've got the paper down there. No, you haven't done the lady yet. So you want to do the lady, right? Mm-hmm. So this is her right in here.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on the two clean sides, and then position her where you want her. Okay, and then push down on your ink.
Push, 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 push. It's really hard to push down. So you want it like 5 minutes or 4 or 3 to push down.
Okay, did your 5, 4, 3 minutes go by already?
I think so.
Yeah?
Whoa.
What do you think?
Well,
Okay.
I got like my own one, and it looks like this. So now you can see that now it's a very nice one, and we're gonna sell these on on in our shop.
You remember that we had our tree bases already made, in which case, now that we've got our tree forms done, we are ready to start assembling. So, we're going to take our polyfilla. So, I've got some that were in some old pillows. Use whatever you've got, and we're just going to be stuffing them up. Just looking for my wooden spoon here. So stuffing a little bit up toward the top so that we get some filling and some structure there. But one of the things that we wanted with a larger stick is to be able to have that support going up higher so that we've got some structure. These aren't just going to be floppy. So we're going to be kind of stuffing up the sides so that we're leaving some room, so that we have some room up the middle for our stick. Okay, so we're just going to keep going around, and we're going to stuff this until we have. Okay, so then take some stuffing and start stuffing it up into your trees there. Cool? So we're going to keep filling this up until we've got enough down toward the base.
And there's a lot of cotton because it's a big bag.
Yes.
I think I don't need that much cotton though, because mine is a little tree.
Yes.
A little treeling.
You're only going to...
Treeling.
Treeling? So you're only going to need as much as you need for your space, right?
As much as you think you'll need.
And you can take this little pen to help you stuff down into the top.
Okay.
If your fingers can't reach, okay?
Okay.
And then, once we reach the bottom, and this is the part that Grandma's gonna do for you, right? Because what does it involve?
Glue gun.
Hot glue, yes, the glue gun.
And nobody can touch it. Nobody can touch the glue because
Not almost 6-year-olds, right? Yes. So then we're just going to seal across the bottom. So we're going to take our hot glue and we're going to put it across one side.
to another side.
And just let it cool slightly. And then carefully pinch. And we want it to come close enough to our dowel that it's not going to be slipping out easily. But I do take a dab once I've got the edges sealed to be able to lock that in place too.
My tree's almost done filling, so I can put the sticks on.
Perfect. So I will finish this one off and then we will work on yours. How's that?
Good. And I'm filling it up all the way, right, Grandma?
Yep, you're going to fill it up so it's a nice fat tree.
So it's like the other ones and the other trees.
And there we go. Super cute little kind of farmhousey tree.
And once you build these can never come apart.
We've got the stamping on this side. We've got just the plain kind of paint spatters. I'm going to get one of the others done up, and I definitely want to do one with our natural wood. But I'm just going to carry on doing these pieces exactly the same way.
And she's going to help.
For Ellie's, we're doing it slightly different.
A little different because.
How are you doing? A little bit more in there?
Okay.
Just right here. We don't need the stick anymore because we're just going to fill it up. So with these smaller ones, we're going to use these as kind of like adding to some of your decor, some of your vignette. You could, once they're finished as well, attach a loop and hang them from your Christmas tree if you want. So what we're going to do is we're taking just a little cut off stick from the backyard.
And because these ones are smaller than these ones.
Exactly. So we're just going to wiggle that up the top, and then we're going to attach our glue and glue that together. And look how cute these end up being. So
there's a stamp on this side, and there's like a plane on this side.
yeah. So again, super cute to be able to add into any of your little vignettes in some of your tabletop decor. You could, as I said, you could easily attach a loop at the top and hang them from the Christmas tree because these are super light. So definitely super cute. So I'm gonna carry on with these guys and get them all staged up for you. Now again, with these, you could add a little bit of bling. I'm going to take a look when they're done and make a decision on finishing that out. So I'm gonna come back to you when I'm at that stage, but I'm just gonna carry on putting these together, assembling them just exactly the same way as I did this. We've got all of our trees kind of done. So both some of the little Christmas ornaments or decor, and then some of the trees on the stands that we made. And now it's time to just kind of embellish them a little bit. And here I'm not looking at doing anything major, but because they're kind of cute on their own, but just a little something. So when I had cut out a lot of this fabric, I had also washed any of the little scrap pieces. So this is like from the old drop cloth, this is the trim piece. So I've got some thin, really shaggy pieces of that. I did some extra pieces of the bright drop cloth, and I'm just, so I've got all those little fabric pieces. I have some raffia. I have some little burlap twine. These are some of the individual strands from the burlap that I had pulled out for a different project. From the dollar store, some just little mini berry kind of things. I have some glass pearls. Let me think. From the dollar store, I have little wooden cutouts, some flowers, some leaves. And then from Amazon, I have just a whack of little metal mini keys. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll use. The metal pieces, I'll drop a link so that you can see. And I'm just kind of looking at, I've got my hot glue gun going. I've got a little strand of that burlap that I had used before, and I'm just going to kind of loosely tie this. I'm looking at each of them being sort of individual, so I don't have enough of this, then I'm going to do it on all of them. I'm just doing each as it comes. But, you know, I'm looking, kind of going, look, if you just did that really simple, take that rectangular piece of fabric, piece of burlap around it, and you just glue that on the side, kind of a little bit of an angle up here, super cute. So I'm looking at, because I'm going to glue that on, I have these little tails. So what I might do is, you know, like some of these little flowers I could glue up under as well. So I'm gonna glue it, but I'm gonna leave the tails hanging right now because I'm not sure if I wanna hang something from it. I just wanna see how it looks at first. So kind of going piece by piece. So there you go, just something very simple. So each of these, I'm just gonna kind of start decorating and gluing individually, see what turns out, and then I'll show them all to you afterward. I'm likely leaving these as they are. I will put maybe a little bit of a loop and tied in a bow tied onto the top, so that if people choose to hang them, they can, or attach them onto the top of a present would be super cute. Just a little little something hanging on the outside. So these will be a little bit less decorated, but still a little something. Show them to you. So again, I think that this is kind of a fun thing to do. You could certainly do this with any kind of leftover fabric that you have. It might not fray, but it would also still be cute. Think of this in plaids would be awesome, you know, in the green and red check plaids, or some buffalo plaid would be cute. Keeping it neutral as I did, also cute. Solid fabrics, I mean, whatever. It's just a different way of creating a little bit of a raised tableau, of being able to introduce the idea of maybe a Christmas tree without all the branches. So let me know what you think of this one. Drop the comments. I would love to hear from you. If you got some other cool tree crafts and ideas for others, drop in a picture. I'm sure they would love to see them, but at the very least, I would like to see them. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Cindy Daycheck, take care.